you fear to go into those mines. The dwarves delved too greedily and too deep. You know what they awoke in the darkness of Khazad-dûm. Shadow and flame.
Yes, shadow and flame indeed. Greetings and welcome to the second episode of Golden Drake Studios' FOSS Gaming Extravaganza. FOSS, again, standing for Free and Open Source Software. And once again, we are in this beautiful environment provided by a program called Cool Retro Terminal. But this time we're using the default color profile, default amber, instead of the monochrome green that we used last time. And last time we were looking at Rogue. This time we are looking at Moria, which could be the very first roguelike in a certain sense of that term. I mean, the term roguelike is used in different ways in different contexts. You know, according to some definitions, there could actually be roguelikes that existed before Rogue. But if we're talking about roguelikes in the sense of games that were inspired specifically by Rogue and attempted to follow its look and feel and gameplay features to a large extent while also extending them to one degree or another, Moria could be the very first one. Its development began in 1981, written in the BASIC programming language. In 1983, it had its first official release, rewritten in Pascal. We will be playing a version called UMoria. UMoria standing for UNIX Moria, and that's written in the C programming language. And first we'll need to install that. So if you are in Golden Drake Linux or any other Arch-based Linux environment, you could do a little search using Pacman, like we could search for Moria here, and we get nothing. We can only find it in the AUR, the Arch user repository. So if we use an AUR helper such as yay, we could just type yay Moria, and here's what we see. Okay, so we've got a few options. You see that in terms of relevant options, we have UMoria and UMoria Color. I haven't played around with that color variant. You can try that out if you want to. I'm happy to go with just standard UMoria, so we will install that. You can also look at the diff here. You should always look closely at what you're installing when you're installing stuff from the AUR. Make sure you're comfortable with it. Okay, so now that it's installed, we can launch it by typing UMoria. Dungeons of Moria. This is UMoria version 5.7.15. This was released in 2021. So technically this game is still in development. I mean, it's just getting minor updates, of course. But the first official release of UMoria was in 1987. And again, the original work on Moria started in 1981, just 1 year after the original release of Rogue itself. So not only are we delving into the mines of Moria, but we are delving deep into gaming history, RPG history, roguelike history. You know, there's a lot of richness and depth in this area of computer gaming history. So let's start delving. First we have character creation. We can choose among these different races. Already we're seeing a lot more complexity. In Rogue, there's no character creation, you always just get a certain default character type. Here we can choose between human, half-elf, elf, halfling, gnome, dwarf, half-orc, half-troll, and the choice of race will significantly limit what classes are available to you. So this time around, because we're going into Moria, I'm going to go with dwarf. And it will be male, and we have here some stats. Looks like good strength, low dexterity, not sure how I feel about that, but high constitution. Character background. You are the only child of a dwarven thief. You are a credit to the family. You have dark brown eyes, straight black hair, a 3-foot beard, and a dark complexion. Hit space to reroll or escape to accept characteristics. You know what? I'm going to reroll. Okay, a little more well-rounded this time. You are the only child of a dwarven warrior. You are the black sheep of the family. You have dark brown eyes, straight brown hair, a 1-foot beard, and a dark complexion. You know what? This time around, let's see. High wisdom. This will be better if we were going to play as a priest. I think there are only 2 classes available to dwarves, warrior and priest, but we want to be a warrior, so let's reroll again, Okay, I might be happy with this. Dexterity's not too low. Strength and constitution are pretty high. You are the only child of a dwarven miner. You are a credit to the family. You have dark brown eyes, straight black hair, a 2-foot beard, and a dark complexion. Okay, let's accept this. And sure enough, our only class options are warrior and priest. We are a warrior. Enter your player's name. We shall be named Durin the 7th. Durin the last incarnation of Durin. If you're very familiar with Tolkien lore, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I think we're happy with this. You know, not too bad. And starting with 260 gold, let's go ahead and get going. I should say that up here, if we're looking at strength 18/50, I tried to look this up and I don't know exactly what this means. I'm not sure if this maybe is some kind of encumbrance value. I'm not certain, but anyway, let's go ahead. So now we are in a town environment. This is the only environment that is persistent in this game. We can come back to this town and, whoops, I pressed the wrong thing. One thing you'll discover early on if you start trying to move around using the numpad, you need to turn on numlock, and then the numpad will work as expected. Okay, so we have our @ symbol for our character wandering around. We can go into some of these buildings here. We have a weaponsmith, Ogligan Dragon Slayer, a fellow dwarf, and he's got various items available here. Now we don't have a lot of gold, and we might not need any of this stuff in terms of stuff we could actually afford if we were to look at our, well, we're currently not using any equipment. I can press I to look at my inventory. We have soft leather armor, a cloak, and a dagger, a stiletto style dagger. And for starting out, that will be good enough. So we're going to exit this building. We could come back here later on when we have more gold. Uh-oh, we're being approached by somebody. I think it's kind of a beggar type, or in this case, a blubbering idiot who just drooled on us. I don't really enjoy getting drooled on, but we're going to leave that blubbering idiot alone. We're going to descend into the dungeon by pressing the greater than key. You enter a maze of down staircases. You pass through a one-way door. Now, everything is very dark right now because we haven't even equipped a torch. Let's go ahead and equip some things. I'm going to press the W key, and we're going to press asterisk to see all available items to wear or wield. Thank goodness in this game, all you have to do is press lowercase w, and that counts for both wearing and wielding. They didn't separate those like the original Rogue. And so this game really does have a lot of improvements beyond just the deeper role play and character creation elements. So let's go ahead and don our soft leather armor and the cloak. And we're going to wield a dagger and hold a torch. Your light source is a wooden torch with 4,000 turns of light. Okay, so now we can see a little bit of our environment. Now it's still curious if we want to continue wearing or wielding stuff. We can press escape to get out of that menu. Now I can start walking around. We have a letter E next to us. In this game, we have more control options. We can press question mark or H to get our help menu. Here is a summary of all the available commands. So yes, you can see that there are a lot of things that are familiar from the original Rogue game. There's also a lot of new stuff. And one of those new commands is L to look in a given direction. We also have capital T for tunneling in a direction. You can kind of try to tunnel through rock and rubble. Capital B for bashing doors that you can't open. There might have been some door bashing in a Rogue. I'm trying to remember. There may have been. Anyway, but there are definitely a number of things here that are new, or at least improved in one way or another. Let's press L and then look down in that direction. It is a floating eye. and an open door also. Okay, that's all you see in that direction. Let's go ahead and attack the floating eye. We have slain the floating eye. Now, to a large extent, things are going to look and feel pretty similar to Rogue, with some improvements. Now, you may have just noticed that our view shifted just now. That's because in this game, the dungeon map for each level can extend beyond this small view screen area that we have here. So it will shift now and then, and there are ways to look at the map of what's been revealed so far and to shift the view if we want to look at some of the places we were in before. So if we look at these commands here, capital M for the map, capital L to locate with map. So if we press capital M, here is our map so far. So it's just kind of like a smaller version of the level. And if we do capital L, we can start looking in different directions like this. Kind of interesting, huh? Anyway, so we are hoping to reclaim Moria, or Khazad-dûm, as it is more properly known among the dwarves. It was overtaken by a Balrog of Morgoth, as you may know quite well. And sure enough, if you go deep enough, the boss fight of this game is against a Balrog. Now here we'll see some familiar plus signs for doors. There is a closed door blocking your way, it says. Now in this game, you do not automatically open doors, so I have to press O and then in a particular direction, then I can go in. Our visibility really is quite low, isn't it? In any case, this is a very long tunnel. Okay, here we go. There is more visibility in some of these rooms. You have a scroll titled Merzoon. Okay, let's go ahead and read that scroll. It's an identify scroll. So do we want to identify anything? Well, we don't really have anything to identify. Let's take a look at our food. Do we have any magically enchanted food? No, okay. Anyway, let's see what this little symbol is. Ah, it's a wooden torch. Okay, cool. Now there may be secret doors and traps. Again, we can press the letter S to search as we're going around the edges of these rooms and hallways. So I will be searching a little bit as I go. It says 50 feet down there. I believe that's referring to my visibility in these low light situations. My maximum visibility, I suppose. Visibility is a little bit more limited in these tunnels or hallways. So anyway, yes, there was a previous Durin who delved too greedily and too deep and released a Balrog. Ah, we have a brass lantern with 46 turns of light. Cool. So we can light that later on if our torch gets extinguished. But anyway, yes, so our previous Durin did make the unfortunate mistake of releasing the Balrog that was deep, deep below the earth. We just found some pieces of copper, that's cool. So that increases our gold count, really. And anyway, so our goal now is to defeat that Balrog if we can, and thus reclaim Khazad-dûm, or Moria, for the dwarves and all other free folk. Now we probably will not have time in the course of this video. I think I just defeated a giant white mouse, yes indeed, which was a lowercase r, which you would think would just be rat, but they call it mouse. That's kind of funny. Anyway, so yeah, we may not have time to actually beat this game. Also, it's quite a challenge. You can find stairs to descend as well as to ascend. And if we find stairs to ascend, then that would mean we can go back to the town that we left, which is, like I said, a persistent environment. All the other environments do not persist. So if we go back into the dungeons, it will be all new randomized dungeons. We have a new scroll here. A scroll of summon monster. So now we're being attacked by a novice mage and a metallic blue centipede that's crawling on us. Okay, this is not so great. We're gonna attack the mage first. We can see our current hit points going down rather rapidly. This is not a good situation. We've slain the novice mage. We reached level 2. Experience level 2. The metallic blue centipede crawls on us. Well, centipede. Okay, we're down to 2 current hit points. Okay, good. We've slain the metallic blue centipede. Excellent. So we have not died yet. Let me look at my inventory again. We have food. We don't have any potions. Let's go ahead and eat some rations. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Capital E for eating. We are full. Okay, that does not affect my current hit points. Darn it, I was hoping it might boost my healing a little bit. We can rest. So yeah, we'll spend some time just kind of hanging out, resting for a bit. But I don't want to rest too long. We'll continue restoring hit points as we walk around. And I'll just hope to not have any more bad luck. You know, that was a bad scroll to read, unfortunately. Now here, we have an ascending staircase. So that's what the less than symbol is. So we'll press the less than, you know, if we try to press greater than, it will tell us, I see no down staircase here. So we have to do less than to go up the stairs. Now we're back in the town. It says you enter a maze of up staircases, you pass through a one-way door. Why does it say a one-way door? Well, that's sort of to indicate that the environment we just left, we can never go back into it. That was a procedurally generated environment that is now gone. We have a bit more gold now. Just for fun, we could go in here and maybe buy a bow and some arrows or something. So P to purchase. H for the short bow. He's asking for 107 gold, but we can haggle. Let's offer 90. Ha, no less than 96 gold pieces, he says. Oh, let's offer 92. 92, you would rob my poor starving children? So he's asking for 95. Let's say 94. Done. Okay. Now let's get some arrows. Asking 49. We'll offer 40. My mother you can get for 40. This costs 43. Oh my goodness. Let's try 40 again. You try my patience. Your mother was a troll. 42 or I'll tell. 41. Robbed again. Okay. So he accepted 41. We have 144 gold remaining. Let's call it good for now. And let's go back into the dungeons. And this will be a new version. That might seem a little bit silly, but we could just pretend, you know, we're entering a different hole, a different entrance into Moria, okay? There are different gates. So you enter a maze of down staircases, you pass through a one-way door. We see a floating eye over there. Hello, floating eye. We've slain it. Our current hit points are continuing to increase. Hopefully we will be okay. These apostrophes are open doors. Now we have a closed door. You failed to pick the lock. Okay, we're gonna bash this door. You smash into the door crashes open. Lowercase k, that is a kobold. Now, I wonder what it does if we hit R for recall. No known battles to the death are recalled. It moves at normal speed. Nothing is known about its attack. Okay. So we missed the kobold, we hit the kobold hits us. We have slain the kobold and reached level 3. Now that floating eye is leaving us alone. Let's leave it alone. Secret door. Sometimes you have to search multiple times before secret doors or traps reveal themselves. Capital R. I believe that's a snake. A large brown snake. Ooh. Well, we got hurt, but not too badly. So moving on. We have another snake and a floating eye. What else do we have? A dagger, Bodkin-style dagger. Large white snake. So they can be different colors, interesting. And a floating eye. I'm going to press R to recall. At least 2 of these creatures have been killed by contributors to your monster memory. It is normally found at depths of 50 feet and moves at normal speed but does not deign to chase intruders. A kill of this creature is worth 0.33 points for a 3rd level character. It is magical, casting spells which drain mana. It is warm-blooded, nothing is known about its attack. So what if we recall info about snakes? Well, we never faced this particular type of snake before, so no information. Let's pick up this dagger and press E for equipment. It's the same as our current dagger, so whatever. Nice to have a backup, I guess. And those creatures were leaving us alone, so we are leaving them alone as well. I think that's a good policy sometimes. A small dart hits you, you feel yourself moving slower. So sadly, we activated a trap there. You feel yourself speed up. I hit Control P to see the most recent text again. That can be useful when you accidentally skip some text that you meant to read. Let's take another look at these commands here. It's interesting how you can jam a door with spikes if you wish. I don't think we have any spikes currently though. Q for quaffing potions, just like Rogue. P for pray. Now, priests can use that ability. For us, it's not going to do much good. So yeah, if you want to play around with the spell system or the prayer system, you want to be a wizard or a priest. I don't have a lot of experience with that. You know, I'm still somewhat new to this game, but I have been trying it out for a while now, mostly sticking to simple character classes such as the warrior. But feel free to experiment with spells and prayers if that interests you. As you can see there, you can also do interesting things such as if you press the open curly brace or curly bracket, you can inscribe an object, and that basically is to like give it a name or other type of inscription. I think that's just for fun and role-playing purposes. I don't think it has any effect on the game per se. There are some options. If you press the equal sign, they're not too significant, but we can look at those in a moment. Let's see. In any case, you can see all the rest here for yourself. B for browsing a book. I'm not sure I've ever encountered a book in this game, but I do look forward to that. That might be fun. And capital C if you ever want to look at your character description and full character stats again. So we can do that. Here's how we're looking right now. Durin the 7th, dwarf male warrior. We're doing pretty well for ourselves. And let's see. Oh, what else was I going to try? Oh yes, equal sign. So here are the options they have available. Options involving running and so forth. Okay. So yes, you can run in this game, and I'm happy to say that it handles running better than Rogue did. So I press period to run, and then I run in a certain direction, and it took me all the way here and stopped me as soon as there was anything of interest whatsoever, such as these different directions I could go in. It will also stop at doors, pretty much anything. It will stop you, which I think is good. It's a little more quick to stop you than the Rogue game is by default, at least in my experience. So We are continuing our dungeon delving. Hopefully we can go deeper soon. We have lowercase w, which is a white worm mass. And it has just duplicated. Some of the enemies in this game will reproduce in real time. And that includes the white worm mass. So let's go ahead and try to get rid of them as quick as we can. Good. And let's get rid of this snake. Snake is slain. Go ahead and start using the run command a little bit more. So we can see the run command have me stop near this open door. What do we have here? Giant white centipede. That's right. Got a centipede coming toward us. Where did it go? Oh, it went into that doorway for a little while we were resting. Basically, to rest or wait, I'm pressing the number 5 in the middle of the numpad. Okay, we have slain the giant white centipede. Notice we have a $sign in the midst of this wall here. We see copper in a quartz vein. That's all you see in that direction. So if we do capital T for tunneling, this is where tunneling comes in handy. And as a dwarf, we are very good at tunneling or mining. Takes a while though. Sometimes it's faster than other times. We found something. We finished the tunnel, found 30 gold pieces worth of copper. Nice. We hit the white icky thing. Okay, we've slain the white icky thing. Wonderful. On we go. All right. We'll do a little bit of searching in here. We're not noticing any secret doors. Searching this hallway as well. Okay. Interesting. You have an icky green potion. All right. So the centipede has bitten and stung us. We've slain it. Good. Let's go ahead and quaff a potion. B, the icky green potion. You are full, you have no more icky green potion, and all it says in curly braces is tried. So that means we haven't fully identified it, but we know we've tried it. Okay, so that's what it will say if we pick up the same type of potion again. In some cases, if the effect is very obvious, then it will be identified after trying it. Secret door. We can also close doors after they've been opened. And the purpose of closing doors and perhaps jamming them is to potentially slow down creatures or monsters that you don't want following you. We have found a brown potion. Hopefully not poison. Another snake in our way. We have slain it. It's funny when it says things like a snake has crushed you. It must be a very large snake. Very large indeed if it can crush a dwarf. Picked up a sling. And that reminds me. We should go ahead and equip our short bow. And arrows. Okay. So now our current equipment. Oh, I think I made a mistake there. Yeah, let's re-equip the short bow. I was wielding 24 arrows, now I'm wielding a short bow. Okay, so yeah. So we're supposed to only equip the bow, not the arrows. I think that's the idea. Finish tunneling, 32 gold pieces worth of copper. I believe you can even tunnel through these hard rock walls in general to create new tunnels, but that would usually be a waste of time and energy. so we're not going to do that. What did that say? Oh, we found some copper on the way here. Okay. Or maybe that's just an older message. Oh yeah, the only message I had missed just a moment ago was the message saying which direction. That's all it was. These games can take some getting used to when you're somewhat new to them. But I definitely think they're very fun. You know, Rogue already I had a lot of fun with, and this one I've been enjoying even more just because there is more to it. You know, I love being able to create my own character, name them, choose their class, etc. And I like that it has, secret door. It has a bit more complexity and variety in terms of items and stuff you can encounter, including rubble blocking your way. Okay, so we'll tunnel into the rubble. Sometimes this takes a while. We removed it. Now we can move on. Slain the white worms. I've been searching now and then for secret doors, but not finding any here. Okay. Sometimes it takes a while to find staircases leading down. If you're really trying to beat the game, of course you have to descend many times. I'm not sure if it has a set amount of levels you have to go down to face the Balrog, or if it's somewhat randomized. I'm not 100% certain about that. But for whatever the deepest depth is for your particular procedurally generated dungeon, that's where you need to go. And speak of the devil, we have some stairways leading down. Let's descend. Once again, a maze of down staircases, and we pass through a one-way door, so we cannot go back up the way we came. You know, I had mentioned a tiny bit of the lore associated with Durin. Well, here we have stairs leading up. If we were to take those, we would not go back to the town. I believe we would just go up to another level of dungeons, but it would be different than the previous random dungeon. You know, it would be a new random dungeon. Anyway, but blue worm mass. Out of the way, blue worm mass. Nothing worse than a mass of worms. Anyway, as I said, I had been discussing a little bit of the lore surrounding Durin, who, if you're familiar with Tolkien lore, you know that Durin the First was one of the main progenitors of the dwarves. You know, he was one of the first dwarves, perhaps the very first dwarf. There were a few other early dwarves as well, created by Howley, I think his name is. And they were created as kind of an experiment as he was looking forward to the children of Iluvatar. But he did it without permission, and he was kind of ashamed of that, felt guilty about it when it was discovered. But then Iluvatar showed mercy on him and decided, you know what, we're going to let your creations have true life. So Iluvatar breathed the secret fire, the true life into them, so that they became true living sentient beings, much like the elves and men and hobbits, etc. that were to come. And anyway, Durin's line was, which clan of dwarves was it? Were they called Longbeards? I'm trying to remember. I'm forgetting some of the details now, but one thing that might be fun in terms of exploring a little bit of the lore of Durin the First, who is believed by the dwarves to have been reincarnated a number of times. And we are Durin the Seventh, the sixth of his reincarnations, and the last one, according to official Tolkien lore. Though, who knows, there could be another one later, but it's the last one that we know of. You hit the white jelly, Ooh boy, we've been poisoned by a white jelly. That's not good. Let's try to end this fight as quick as we can. The white jelly touches you, you feel very sick. Ooh boy, okay, finally, we have slain the white jelly and ascended to a level of experience that we call level 4. Excellent. Not good to be poisoned though. Let's go ahead and quaff a potion. We feel better. No more brown potions, okay? Anyway, as I continue dungeon delving and adventuring here, let's go ahead and have a listen at a beautiful piece of Tolkien dwarf lore, the Song of Durin, as read by none other than John Rhys-Davies, the esteemed actor who played the role of Gimli in the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings films.
The world was young, the mountains green. No stain yet on the moon was seen. No words were laid on stream or stone when Durin woke and walked alone. He named the nameless hills and dells. He drank from yet untasted wells. He stooped and looked in Mirror and saw a crown of stars appear as gems upon a silver thread above the shadow of his head. The world was fair, the mountains tall, in elder days before the fall of mighty kings in Nargothrond and Gondolin, who now beyond the western seas have passed away. The world was fair in Durin's day. A king he was, on carven throne, in many pillared halls of stone, with golden roof and silver floor, and runes of power upon the door. The light of sun and star and moon, in shining lamps of crystal hewn, undimmed by cloud or shade of night, there shone forever, fair and bright. There hammer on the anvil smote, there chisel clove and graver wrote, there forged was blade and bound was hilt, the delver mined, the mason built. There beryl, pearl and opal pale, and metal wrought like fish's mail, buckler and corset, axe and sword, and shining spears were laid in hoard. Unwearied then were Durin's folk, beneath the mountains music woke. The harpers harped, the minstrels sang, and at the gates the trumpet rang. The world is grey, the mountains old. The forge's fire is ashen cold. No harp is rung, no hammer falls. The darkness dwells in Durin's halls. The shadow lies upon his tomb in Moria, in Khazad-dûm. But still the sunken stars appear in dark and windless Mirror. There lies his crown in water deep, till Durin wakes again from sleep.
And there we have it. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I love the way he reads that. And it does speak somewhat of the fall of Khazad-dûm, of the fall of Moria. In the official lore, sometime after the departure of Gimli and other major characters we know from Lord of the Rings, Durin VII did succeed in reclaiming Moria, or Khazad-dûm, and allowing it to be a beautiful and happy home once again for dwarves and other folk, for essentially the rest of the history of Middle-earth. So, in naming my character Durin VII, I am sort of pretending that I am taking part in that. Although, of course, realistically, he would be going with a great army of dwarves, not just a single dwarf adventuring alone, but hey, that's fine. We are a very bold Durin VII, or perhaps very foolish. We see copper here in a quartz vein. Let's tunnel in there. Now, if you're very serious about beating this game, the point of getting copper and other sources of gold is so that you can buy more items at the town. Of course, to go back to the town, you have to ascend multiple times. At least I think so, if I remember correctly. I don't think ascending once will take you all the way back to the town once you've gone down a few levels. So going back to the town is a bit of an investment, but it might be worth it because if you're very serious about beating the game, you might need to go back and purchase some nice items now and then instead of just relying on what you find in the dungeons. Sometimes this tunneling really takes a while. Oh, and by the way, if you were paying close attention during that reading of the Song of Durin, you may have noticed that we picked up a very odd item, letter I there in my inventory, a dwarf skeleton. Now that's not the only type of skeleton you can find here in the mines of Moria, but it does show up now and then. I don't know if there is a significant purpose to that. I've looked into it a tiny bit. I still have more research I need to do about this game. There's a lot to learn, so I apologize that I don't know everything yet. I'm assuming there might be some use for that. Perhaps it depends on your character's class, or perhaps not. I need to look into that. But regardless, it's very interesting and poignant, and certainly feels appropriate. In the words of Boromir, this is no mine, this is a tomb. We are in a place where there may be remains of many dead dwarves, sadly. But there is yet one dwarf in Moria who still draws breath, and that is Durin VII. And we'll see how far he can get before we either die, or find and defeat a Balrog, or just decide that this video has been long enough and it's time to move on. We'll see. In the meantime, please do comment down below your thoughts on this game and other games inspired by not only Rogue, but this game Moria specifically, such as Angband. Angband is the name of another fortress, an evil fortress of Morgoth in the works of Tolkien. And Angband, as well as another of its own successors, Zangband or Zangband, I'm not sure how you're supposed to read that, probably Zangband, they expand on what this game provides, and that's one that will be coming up in our series, I'm sure. Let's descend deeper. Okay, a gray mushroom patch. We have slain it. So far, we're having pretty good luck. I was afraid we might die pretty quickly, but Durin the Deathless is doing quite well here so far. Okay, we open the door. I wonder if we if we wield the brass lantern, I think that did increase our maximum vision, but in tunnels it doesn't help that much. Your light is growing faint. Is that referring to the lamp? Light is growing faint. I assume that's not referring to the torch. I think when I didn't read all the messages closely, I really should have, but I think when we lit the lamp that we doused torch, but I'm not certain. Light has gone out. So, okay, that brass lamp did not last very long. So I'm going to light torch letter G. Light source was a brass lantern with 0 turns of light. Now it's a wooden torch with 1,540 turns of light. So we still have the brass lantern. If we get some more oil, we can add oil to it. Spotted mushroom patch released a cloud of spores. Not good. A blue jelly. Covered with frost we are. Oh no. Okay. Still doing pretty well. Giant white mouse. Okay, you silly rats. 18 iron shots, so that would be for a crossbow, I believe. There are some stairs up. You know what? Just to experiment, let's go ahead and take these stairs up. You enter a maze of up staircases, pass through a one-way door, and sure enough, yeah, it does not immediately take you to the town. We would have to ascend a few times to get back to the town. We have a magma intrusion, copper, and some dark rock. Okay. Oops. A novice rogue came in from the other side of that magma intrusion. Uh-oh. Okay, novice rogue, we're taking you down. Your purse feels lighter. The rogue is picking our pockets mid-fight. How dare you? Okay, we slew them. We found 26 gold pieces worth of copper, part of which was probably stolen from us, part of which was in that magma intrusion. Let's see. Let's just go this way. We see copper and some dark rock again. Let's just move onward. Okay, well, perhaps this is getting close to long enough for today's video, I would say. So what are your thoughts about Moria, or UMoria, as we should call this version, the C language version of the game? What are your thoughts on it? And have you ever played this game, or Angband, the game that sort of expanded on this one? Have you played a lot of these old text-based roguelikes? How do you feel about them? How they compare with each other and whatnot? Do you have a particular favorite, or do you like them all somewhat in different ways? That's kind of how I feel so far. I'm sure I'll eventually pick a favorite as I get more experience with all of them. But yeah, tell me your thoughts down below about Moria and other roguelikes that you may have seen or played, and any aspect of them, whether it's the gameplay or sort of the lore behind them, which of course is somewhat limited, but in this case, this game takes advantage of the fact that there is extensive Tolkien lore that you can kind of have in the back of your mind as you're playing this game. But yeah, what do you think of it, and roguelikes in general? And who do we have there? A novice rogue. At least one of these creatures has been killed by contributors to your monster memory, normally found at depths of 100 feet, moves at normal speed. A kill of this evil creature is worth 2.4 points for a 5th level character. It is warm-blooded, yes, I would hope so. It can hit to attack and touch to steal money. Well, we're going to leave that character alone. If we look at our help menu, we see that if we want to save and quit, we can hit Control X. So we're going to do that. Saving game. And here we are. We had a test character previously that I had created, a human mage, and they were killed by interrupting. Here we have Durin the 7th, dwarf warrior, who is not killed yet, so it just has in parentheses, saved. I have played Moria more often than that screen would suggest. That's just how often I've played it on this particular machine. But anyway, I think that will do it for today. So like I said, thank you very much for watching, and please do like the video and subscribe to see more, and consider supporting Golden Drake Studios and all of my creative work through patreon.com/thedrake. Or you can send one-time donations. There are links to be found in the description below and in the comment section. Many thanks to all my current supporters, Lucy, Lyle, and Aina the Khazad-dûm. You can also follow us on various social media platforms and whatnot. You can check out our Linktree. We've got the URL right there, linktree/goldendrake with a dot before the 2 E's in Linktree, okay? And leave a comment down below to let me know what you think about Moria and other roguelikes, and what you think about this video series so far. And also feel free to recommend any games or other software that you'd like me to showcase as part of this video series on free and open source software. Other than that, if you're curious about any of the other interesting text-based shenanigans that I have going on in these videos, please let me know. Like here, for example, this bonsai tree is a program called C Bonsai. And in my previous video, I ended with kind of a matrix style rain effect. That is a program called C Matrix. Some of the text effects I've been using in my intros and outros are making use of programs such as Figlet and Toilet and Boxes. These are programs you can look into if you're a Linux user who likes to play around with fun terminal programs. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. So thanks again for your time and attention, your constructive feedback, and whatever else you can offer. I wish you an excellent day, and I will see you next time.